It's pretty obvious that film photography has grown significantly in the last few years. It seems like there are more people shooting it and more people talking about it year after year, and there are actual numbers to back this up from the film manufacturers themselves. It's a good time to be a film photographer, a far better time than I think anyone expected in 2019, given the increase in photographers and even technology in digital cameras. But I think the upside to all of this is lost on a lot of people. Anywhere online, whether it be social media or different forums, I see a lot of the same attitude and even just cynicism towards this younger generation and this revival of film photography. You have a lot of these gatekeepers who have to remind everybody that they've been shooting film longer than anybody else and how they used to be able to buy a lot of these popular cameras at a fraction of the price of what they're at today, and just these damn kids are ruining film photography. I went on a little bit of a Twitter rant, if you even want to call it that, recently, and a lot of people seem to really resonate with it, so I wanted to take time to make an actual video, really kind of talking about all this and getting it all out there, so let's talk about it. Is film photography a trend? Absolutely. I think there's no denying that at this point. There are a lot of people shooting film, probably just so they can talk about shooting film, and it's given a lot of people this idea that if it's shot on film, that's going to make it a good photo, which is absolutely not true. You can take plenty of bad photos on film. Believe me, I do it all the time. The prices in the used market have also raised significantly just due to the increase in popularity, and people have started to fetishize certain cameras like they're, a status symbol, like a pair of sneakers or a handbag or jewelry. It's more about taking a photo of that camera rather than taking a photo with that camera. But what are the upsides to film photography seeing this kind of popularity and ultimately being a trend? People are quick to point out all of the downsides to this, but I do think that there is some positive to come from it. The most obvious benefit of this, I think, is just the manufacturing of the film itself. Companies like Ilford, Kodak, Fujifilm, and even Lomography, they're bringing back previously discontinued film stocks and even releasing new stocks as well. I feel like most people can obviously see that benefit of it, but what about the photographers that are discovering photography and this passion just because of film photography in general? Younger photographers are experiencing photography for the first time just because of this process, because it's so new and different to them. It's unlike anything that they've experienced before. It's similar to vinyl records in that sense. What's old is new again for people who weren't around whenever this was kind of in its heyday, and to them it's a whole new way of experiencing music, the same way that film photography is a whole new way to experience making photos for a younger generation who maybe have only grown up in the iPhone era. Maybe they never had any interest whatsoever in photography until they actually saw the process of film, whether it be just shooting film or even in the darkroom processing the film, making their own prints. Maybe that's what really spoke to them and made them want to try photography in the first place. I'm sure the vast majority of those people who just give it a shot because it looks interesting, probably the vast majority are just going to move on to the next thing or the next hobby and not really stick with it, and that's okay. Photography isn't for everybody, but what about those people who actually do stick with it and they really start to grow as a photographer because they found something that they're actually passionate about just because the process as a whole was interesting? What if one of those people end up becoming one of the greats in photography and someone that we look to for inspiration? It's the same effect with the iPhone. This device has opened the gates and photography is being exposed to so many more people and creative minds out there. Creative minds who maybe would have never picked up a camera had they not already had a camera already in their pocket. I've been shooting photos for 15 years and film has always been a large part of it, even as I transitioned into the digital world, and I've spent the last 5 years here on YouTube trying to just talk about film photography and make it more accessible and interesting to people so that more people will try it, but I do get the frustration with this being a trend. You see people touting it online and talking about how much they love it, knowing that they're probably not even going to be buying film in a couple of years or maybe even a couple of months. I know it's frustrating, but try to keep the other people in mind, the ones who have actually found something they're really passionate about just because of this process that we all love. The ones that are shooting it because it's just what fits them best and not what's going to get them more likes on Instagram. The ones that are shooting it because it just works and they don't even have to think about it, so they shoot it so that way they can actually focus on what's really important, the photographs. Don't be the gatekeeper whenever somebody wants to try something that you speak so fondly of. If you have something that you really enjoy and you want to talk about it, let other people try it as well and get that same kind of enjoyment. That's what it's all about. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about all of this down in the comments below. Obviously, everybody is entitled to their own opinion on this. This is just me trying to look on the bright side. But that's it for today, so thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, there's a new video every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I'll see you guys next time.